here intentionally. But that's actually the reason. And then John Briscoe is something you must read if you are interested in Pakistan's future. And he talks of the Pakistan's water economy running dry and war or peace on the Indus. And then I will not talk of all the projects in Kashmir. Let's take too much time. Pakistan will cry for water, says the World Bank. And if you allow me to just read a few recommendation lines, sir. Pakistan will cry for water. This is the World Bank. And there is no doubt about that. We are already crying for water. In my little note, I write about the energy dilemma. I talk about, by the way, Lenin, in his first Presidium speech to the Soviet Union, I'm not a communist, but I'd like to read this because we will build a powerful socialist state through Marxism and electric power. And Soviet Union achieved that within 5 years, they became self-sufficient. And basically it was based on hydropower, and we are one of the few countries in the world that have excess hydropower. So today the buzzword is make it green, make it sustainable. You can have a copy of this document. And green, part of green is that you have to have carbon capture and storage, which involves CO2, and some biomass renewables also have a carbon footprint, and they also require CCS. The energy mix has to be changed, but if we have to go to 300 additional billion units in the next 15 years or 20 years, we need about $150 billion. And because today we are generating about 125 billion units annually. And if you have to take a triple jump, I'm sorry, it's not going to work. And finally, I made some recommendations which you can kindly see yourself. And something about David Lilienthal is very exciting here, which you can see, but in just 2 paragraphs of his report. Band kar diya? Okay. All right. So I think we'll have to go to the internet to see the rest of my recommendations. But what I'm saying is you have to create a commission you have to create 2 things. A commission for energy and a commission which has to stand up to ICID, which I call Commission for Indus Basin Strategic Analysis, without which there is no way you can fight the Indian menace. They are all over you. And the oil route has to be brought down for sustainability, and water is the only solution for this. I'm sorry for these computer problems, but you're always welcome to contact me on the internet. I'm always available. Pakistan Pindabad.
Topic, testing times, the present and the future. The culprit here is my friend and former colleague, Aftab Bhatt, who called me like 9 a.m. yesterday morning that you are required to speak. Here, Haji Saab and Abdullah Yusuf added their weight, so here I am. And I did prepare some slides with this specific topic. But with the permission of the chair, before I get to the slides, a few things that I would like to share with you. Load shedding, talked about, will not decrease. If you would all go look at the magazine that is currently out, Kaisa Hoga 2012, I have an article in which the title is No Light at the End of the Tunnel. So if you are expecting an energy saver at the end, what I can say is with the current setup, current government policies or lack of, things will not change. Please be clear about that. It will not change. You have seen that they have made matters worse. Everything has gone a little worse, so they will not change. But here I think what is needed, the chartered accountants, the engineers, the other professionals need to stand up and be heard. And that we must, because there are solutions and things can be improved. We hear about load shedding, you're all aware, but there was a national integrated energy plan approved in 2005. If that had been followed and implemented by the Planning Commission and the other agencies that are, today there would have been no power load shedding. Today there would have been no gas load shedding. But that is wishful thinking. We are past that scenario. With all our chartered accountants here, I'm sure you are very good at your numbers because politicians are not, and we have seen how things have come about. Just to share with you, everybody is very concerned. A lot of people here are advising the industry also. Industry is shut down now for nearly a month. Last year, 6 months, about 185 days out of 360, Pakistan cannot survive like that. But if you would take your calculators out and do a little numbering, I'll tell you what an immediate solution is. Sui Southern, 1100 mmCFD gas that they transmit. Sui Northern, 1900, total of about 3000. Domestic in Sui Southern in the summers is 200, about 18%. Domestic in Sui Northern, Uzma is here, I think I don't have the exact numbers, I had asked her MD, but I had to look some up myself. 425 mmCFD. Now here's what happens in the winters. Right now, Sui Southern domestic increases by 125, goes up to 30%. Sui Northern increases by 600. The peaks go up as high as 800, 600, which is a whopping 50% of their total capacity. Now, out of this 600 mmCFD, only 200 is used extra by the lower slabs, the poor of the nation. The rich, all of us here, we are consuming for our geysers and for our space heating 400 million cubic feet a day. The result is 300 billion loss to the national economy, $1.5 billion of exports. So ladies and gentlemen, please consider this, that if we do not do our work, my recommendation is that immediately, the only solution, because what is wrong has been done. The immediate solution only is that gas should only be used for cooking. You would immediately get at least 400 million cubic feet of gas. Industry would be on. And then we can look at the UFG numbers. We can save another 10%. Sui Northern has gone up. Sui Southern has gone up, etc., etc. So there are solutions, but you need radical steps or radical solutions and coercive steps to undertake that. And whether this government does it or another government does it, the professionals have to stand up and make sure that it gets done. On with my presentation. Testing times. The situation analysis, if you would see, I've started with the present and I'll take you to the future. I will not read each thing, but you are all welcome to the slides. Energy is the lifeline. No debate about that. We are one of the lowest per capita